Hey guys, this is my first video on YouTube and I'm going to show you the entire workflow that I use to generate actually good stuff and good websites and good web apps with AI and stuff that actually isn't slop, like majority of the things that you see online. And this video isn't going to be like a full tutorial. This is going to be a bird's eye overview on how this entire workflow functions. And yeah, if you want a tutorial, just let me know in the comments below, and I'm going to film like a full process of how I'm gonna build the entire website or web app or with this process. So this isn't going to generate you perfect websites. It's not one prompt magic trick, and it definitely isn't something that I've learned overnight. It took me a few months and few years of experience to be actually at this to get actually at this point, test a bunch of tools and figure out what actually works and what doesn't work. So let's go through a few examples first. This is my personal website that has been hosted on Webflow, and I've exported the entire code and I've migrated this website over to Vercel. And you can see that it's using nice hover effects, nice animations, a nice 3D effect in the hero section with the ripples and shaders and everything else. We're also like using advanced or semi-advanced features such as sound and background music, and then the zooming out animation, and then a lot of these more advanced effects with horizontal scrolling, etc., etc. So this entire project has been built with Webflow. I've exported the code and I have given a command to Claude to refactor the entire project into a Next.js project, and now it's hosted on Vercel. So let's just quickly go through it so you can see what types of results can you actually get with Claude. A lot of this has been designed by me manually, and then Claude worked on top of it. But I'm going to show you two other websites which are going to give you a bit more realistic expectations on what you can build with it. Although you can also get these types of results if you're willing to prompt your AI enough and spend enough credits to get it to this point. So building something like this also isn't impossible with AI these days. You need to give it good inspiration, and I'm going to show you a bit more on how to do that. This is another website that has been built with AI, so nothing here you see has been designed manually. This entire process has been automated with AI, and granted, you're going to see a few mistakes and that are going to be giveaway that this has been built with AI, but none of these aren't unfixable. So let's go through it. You see this effect. If you showed this to someone a few years ago, it would blow their mind because you couldn't see this very often a few years ago. A lot of these transitions and animations have been quite impressive before we've had AI, and now people are gonna, as soon as you see this be reused many times and at scale, people will start saying it's AI slop. But the system I've built behind this is actually going to allow you to uh, improve and generate actually great websites and web apps consistently. So as you can see, this is the type of results you can get purely by using this. I'm going to show you EditLayer a bit later. So yeah, there is no paid promotions. All of these tools I use on a daily basis, so none of these tools are paying me to show them or to say this is good or this is bad. This is purely my thoughts and opinions and what I have found to work. I use Cursor, it's the most flexible. I don't like using like CLI or Claude Code, although I do use it sometimes, but I find this to be the most flexible and best and the easiest to use. Relume I use for wireframing, boilerplate code, and reusable components. This prevents Claude from using its own shitty design system that it comes up out of nowhere. Relume has been proven across many projects, across many websites, and this is what you should use in majority of the projects. Relume is a lot more scalable. It's quite easy to understand once you get into it. So this is, you can install it through an npm module in your next JS projects, and you need to tell Claude to actually use it and to use components from it and design system from it, and they'll come up with shit on its own. Then these are the tools. These are the first tools that I use. Then when I gain an idea of what I want to build, I do a brain dump into ChatGPT. So I put all of my thoughts into ChatGPT and tell it to give me a perfect prompt for Claude. I analyze the prompt and then I tell it to remove parts I think won't work properly or won't generate as good of a results with Claude as I need it to be. Then once I do that, I also go to mobbin.com to or is it mobbin.com? We can check that later. This is where I gain lots of inspiration and the type of vibe I want my website to have, considering of course the ICP and the market that website is going to live in. But you can find quite amazing inspiration here. And what's good about this tool is that it has an MCP, and you can use its MCP to connect to Cursor. And then once you install it in Cursor, Claude can browse through Mobbin to actually have an understanding of what high quality design is and how to build it on your own website. Then an important MCP that I use are all of these three here, but the most important would be sequential thinking, interactive MCP, and then Puppeteer. Let's go with interactive MCP. So this one puts you in the loop. The more expertise you have as a designer, developer, marketer, from whichever field you come, SEO expert, the more useful this interactive MCP is going to be. What it does, it puts you in the loop. So once the AI finishes with the results, or if the AI isn't sure about how to proceed, it's going to use this MCP to ask you, and then you can give it more detailed and better instructions, and then it's going to iterate upon them and build you a better product in the end. Puppeteer we use to connect AI to browsers so it can get screenshots and scan the website and see where it fucked up and then make corrections and basically build a better product in an iterative process. Sequential thinking is probably the most important one because when you drop a big ass prompt into Cursor, it's going to take that problem that you put in front of it and it's going to break it into smaller parts, and then it's going to create to-do lists and structured tasks behind each of those smaller problems, and it's going to build them out and connect them together, and it's going to give a lot better results compared to if you just run it once and expect to gain good results. The way it works, you can see here. So yeah, basically you dump a prompt and then it goes through initial thought process, builds understanding of the problem, considers a bunch of different alternative paths, does revision, scores which approach would be best. It reaches conclusion and then starts building the optimal solution. Um, then an important tool that everybody is talking about right now, actually not a tool, but an important aspect of web development that everybody is saying right now is web security. So you'll see a lot of people say AI makes mistakes, puts environment variables publicly, adds them to GitHub. Everybody can then access them, make a lot of fuck ups in the websites. But that's not to say that humans haven't made similar or even bigger fuck ups in our development careers, right? So you can find a bunch of cases online where humans have made major fuck ups in code, and that code has been exploited over time. API endpoints have been left open. Rules in the databases have not been set up properly. ENVs have been hard coded in. All of these mistakes humans have made as well. So to expect AI, which is only a few years old, to act better is unreasonable, right? Because this technology will take time to reach its maximum potential. And once it does, I think it's going to make a lot less mistakes compared to the amount of mistakes a human had to make to gain to where we are now. Because consider when GPT-3 came out, it didn't give answers to questions, it gave predictions. So for example, if you asked it what is the capital city of France? It would give you like A, B, C, D, Paris, London, Singapore. Like it would give you different types of answers because it was trained on data to predict what the next sentence, what the end of that sentence is going to be. And we've only interacted with ChatGPT 3.5, and now when you take that AI all the way to Opus in 4 or 5 years, the progress has been greater and more exponential than human experience in coding from last 30 to 40 years, right? So again, people who are holding AI to extremely rigorous standards are the people who are improving it the most, which means people who keep saying AI fucks up here, AI fucks up there, the big companies are going to take all of that data and train better AI to make less of those fuck ups over time. So this tool here, I went on tangents a bit, but this tool over here is Zap OWASP, and it's what it does is basically it has a bunch of scripts inside, and it stress tests your website against most common vulnerabilities, cross-site scripting attacks, limitations on input forms, yada yada yada. So what you would basically do is you would run these scripts on your own website, test it, break it, find vulnerabilities, generate reports, and then feed those reports back into Claude and ask it to basically fix those vulnerabilities and protect your website from hackers and from pen testers and etc etc. Pen testers, of course, are people who do legitimate stuff, but you know what I mean. Then EditLayer is a small tool and a small NPM module that I have built with Claude. And basically what it does is that you install it in your Next.js project. You set up API keys. So let's go over here. So what it does is it doesn't scan your entire project, but what it does is it allows you to edit the content on your website visually. So we have a small demo over here of how it works. Basically, it allows users and it allows marketing teams to basically click on the headings, click on the paragraphs, on the buttons, change the text, save it as draft, and then publish it on the website. It pushes all the changes to GitHub. Vercel picks it up, redeploys your website with these new updates, and then once you refresh it, all the updates are live, and you can make these edits directly on your website. And the way you set it up is you simply install EditLayer in your Next.js project or your Next.js project, and then you add these API keys. So basically you need to set up resend email account, you need to set up who the owner of the website is and who are the editors, who the email is going to be coming from. So this is usually going to be from onboarding@resend.com. And then you set up your GitHub tokens so that the EditLayer can push changes to GitHub. And then to mark editable content, you can just wrap it in editable text, and you can just ask Composer 2.5 to do this for you, and it's just going to go through the website and wrap everything like this. This is a small tool and it's a proof of concept that I've built recently, and the reason why I have built it is that I come from Webflow background. I've been working with Webflow for the past 3-4 years, and I've been official Webflow partner, and I've recently left Webflow partnership program because I think that Webflow is now solving a problem that no longer exists, and it doesn't serve all the clients as it should. So biggest complaints I see on LinkedIn and on X are you can't edit Next.js website visually. Marketing teams cannot edit that website visually. So what I've built is a simple edit layer which allows that to happen. You simply install it in your website, and it allows the marketing teams to go on the domain, add this edit true link, they log in, and they can then edit their website. I'm going to actually record a demo once I debug everything, and once I'm confident enough that the plugin that this NPM module plugin, call it however you'd like, works properly. I'm going to film a demo video and then you can see how it actually works. So this is the, once more, this is the entire stack. I have not been paid a promotion, of course, because maybe I have 0 subscribers, you know, so who the fuck is gonna pay for that? But yeah, this is the entire stack that I use right now, and it has worked wonderfully for me. And I'm also going to try and generate the instructions on how you can set this up, and I'm going to add it as a free PDF in the description of this video. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned for more videos. Thank you, and bye-bye.